Date on the Christmas festivities. In the UK, King Charles has delivered his annual Christmas message from a former hospital chapel. In a break from tradition, the king, who is being treated for an undisclosed form of cancer, spoke from a former hospital chapel rather than from one of the royal residences. King Charles singled out and thanked the medical profession for his dedication and service. He praised those who care for others and gave his own personal thanks in the 6-minute address.
Listening to these once young servicemen and women touched us deeply as they spoke of their comrades drawn from across the Commonwealth, who never returned and who now rest peacefully where they made the ultimate sacrifice. Their example of service and selflessness continues to inspire across the generations. During previous commemorations, we were able to console ourselves with the thought that these tragic events seldom happen in the modern era. But on this Christmas Day, we cannot help but think of those for whom the devastating effects of conflict in the Middle East, in Central Europe, in Africa, and elsewhere pose a daily threat to so many people's lives and livelihoods. We also think of the humanitarian organizations working tirelessly to bring vital relief. After all, the Gospels speak so vividly of conflict and teach the values with which we can overcome it. The example that Jesus gave us is timeless and universal. It is to enter the world of those who suffer, to make a difference to their lives, and so bring hope where there is despair. As the famous Christmas carol, Once in Royal David's City, reminds us, our Saviour Holy came down to earth from heaven, lived among the poor and mean and lowly, and transformed the lives of those he met through God's redeeming love. That is the heart of the Nativity story, and we can hear its beat in the belief of all the great faiths in the love and mercy of God in times of joy and of suffering, calling us to bring light where there is darkness. All of us go through some form of suffering at some stage in our life, be it mental or physical. The degree to which we help one another and draw support from each other, be we people of faith or of none, is a measure of our civilization as nations. This is what continually impresses me as my family and I meet with and listen to those who dedicate their lives to helping others. I am speaking to you today from the chapel of the former Middlesex Hospital in London, now itself a vibrant community space, and thinking especially of the many thousands of professionals and volunteers here in the United Kingdom and across the Commonwealth.
A big man in red made his way across Georgia on Christmas Day to celebrate Christmas with children in a hospital in the United States. His intention was to make sure they have a wonderful Christmas, and that's despite their health condition. Santa says the mission isn't complete until he's reached every kid, no matter where they are, making the season worthwhile. Now, at midday on Christmas morning, Pope Francis gave his customary Christmas greetings and message from the central loggia of St. Peter's Basilica before the crowds in the square and live to people watching around the world via media. At the conclusion, he imparted his blessing to the city and the world, as he also does on Easter Sunday. The launch of the Jubilee Year 2025 marked the theme of this year's Christmas message and context, as the Pope opened the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica at the start of yesterday's Christmas Mass during the night. The Pope began his Christmas message explaining that the joy celebrated yesterday comes from an event that took place 2,000 years ago. He emphasized how the door of God's heart is always open, recalling the holy door he opened in St. Peter's Basilica on Monday evening, inaugurating the Jubilee of 2025. The Pope explained that that door represents Jesus, the door of salvation, open for all. Let's now turn attention to